Go ahead and give his information because you have the right to ask for that.
Yeah,
but
you can ask.
Can you go ahead and give his information right now? We're here just talking to you, and then we're going to be on our way. What?
Children are allowed to be videotaped?
Not if they're victims. Some of these are victims of crimes.
How do we know?
We don't want to. That's the business. That's what this business is here for. So they can come and go. But all right.
Welcome to Mr. White, the place where real encounters between law enforcement and the people unfold before your eyes. Valdosta, Georgia, a small yet politically vibrant city in the southern United States, home to over 55,000 residents and the administrative center of Lowndes County. On a March morning in 2024, the seemingly calm atmosphere outside the Lowndes County Health Department suddenly turned tense. An independent journalist from the channel Rogue Nation arrived with a camera in hand. His mission, to film the public areas of the government building and gather information for a story, a right protected under the First Amendment. But within minutes, he faced mounting resistance, from security guards to local police officers. Vague threats, unjustified demands for identification, and claims of privacy violations were thrown at him, despite no clear evidence of any crime. The question remains, is filming in publicly accessible spaces a crime, or an essential expression of free speech and press? The original video was recorded by Rogue Nation. Be sure to visit and support their channel. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mr. White, where knowledge is power and your camera is a legal shield.
What you doing? What you got here?
Just some camera equipment. Just coming in to take a tour of the publicly accessible areas of the building.
We don't allow that. You got to have permission from the Public Works.
From the Public Works?
You have to go through Public Works to get that permission to walk around here with a camera.
Okay, is that some kind of policy or law?
Yes, it is.
Because I was just at the other health department, I didn't have no problem.
Well, right here you can't. We can't just let you walk around with a camera. That's invading people's privacy and what they're doing in here.
There's no privacy in public. That's
no. You can't bring it in.
Okay. Are you sure? Is there a policy? Can I see the policy? Because
I'm positive.
I go to health departments all the time.
Can't do it here.
Okay. Is there a building administrator or a supervisor or somebody I can talk to?
I'm the supervisor for security. I'm the supervisor.
For the security? Okay. What about for the building?
But you have to go through Public Works for the building.
Okay.
You can Google Public Works, get their phone number, and speak to the head coordinator over there. If they grant you permission, tell them to give me a call, and you'll get past this point. Until then, you can't go in.
Okay. But I can stay out here, right?
No, you can't be on this property at all, video recording people on this property.
So I can't stand out here on the sidewalk?
You can stand, but you can't record anybody on this property now. Now, what you do on the sidewalk out there, that's nothing to do with this building.
Yeah, I don't think that's right. Anywhere the public's allowed, a journalist is allowed to record. Yes,
and once that journalist come in, they give us their head of contact, and also the people will let us know. No. They have to let us know. Nobody contacted me. You could do that yourself. It looked like something you did yourself.
I did do it myself. I'm an independent journalist.
Yeah, no. That's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
No?
Like I said, go through Public Works, get their permission, and they will definitely call us and let us know. Until then, you can't. And if you do, that's when other actions have to be taken.
Okay.
Because I just told you that process.
Well, I'm not staying out here and film anyway.
You can do anything you want to do on the sidewalk, but not in this parking lot, side parking lots, nowhere. Anything out there on that sidewalk, that's city. Anything past that sidewalk is county. And
cities on the sidewalk, counties?
No. Anything past that sidewalk, you can do. Anything from that sidewalk up, you can't do. So you can stand on the sidewalk all you want to, but you can't be videotaping all up in here.
So I can go out there and videotape?
No, I didn't say you videotape. I said you can go on the sidewalk if you want to, but you can't face your camera nowhere up in here. That's it. Like I just told you, you can't do no videotape.
Okay. I don't think that's right, but I'll stand
If
on
you
it.
have a problem with it, all you gotta do is dial 911. They explain the situation to you. They explain all the procedures with the county buildings. What's your rights? You have all rights to do that, but I'm telling you, you cannot stand on that sidewalk and you can't be up in this vicinity with a camera.
Alright. Bicycles.
I just told you, don't point that camera. We got people coming out this building. You can go on the sidewalk, but not up in here.
No, this is fine. This is a public area.
You cannot be right here now. If I have to call the police, that's what I have to do. I'm telling you your rights. You can go on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
Okay, do you need that 911 to come explain it to you?
Well, 911's for an emergency.
No, it's for anything that's not a non-emergency too. That's what
There's a non-emergency number you can call if you really need to, but
So is you gonna continue to point your camera up here after I done told you that you can?
yeah.
Go to the sidewalk and I have an officer come pick you up. Come talk to you.
Okay.
Until then, you need to put your camera down.
I'll be alright.
I don't care about you sitting up here. I'm just saying your camera wise. You can't have your camera up. You can't videotape it.
How do you know it's even video recording?
I know you videotape, but I'm telling you, you can't be up here videotaping people. That's against their rights. They don't want to be on camera doing their business. Now you either step to the sidewalk or put your camera down, or I'm have to call 911.
Okay.
It's your decision. So you're gonna continue to stand here after I don't ask you 5 times to back to the sidewalk.
Yep.
Okay. Do not put that camera on no person. Because I don't ask you 5 times not to put that camera on people. He's refusing to leave. I got police on the way. I don't know. He just recording people in the building and stuff. And he don't. He can't do that on this property. You can come on in, baby.
Sir! Why are you filming here?
Because I'm allowed to. The First Amendment gives me the right to.
So okay, well, I'm gonna go talk to them because sometimes we got some victims that walk in and out of this place. Okay?
Okay.
So go speak to this officer right here.
What's going on, sir? How you doing today?
Pretty good.
Good? You doing one of those First Amendment audits?
Well, this is a First Amendment protected activity, so, but no, I just came in to video the publicly accessible areas of the building. The lady said, "Oh, you're not allowed to do that." I said, "Of course I am. The public's allowed in. Why wouldn't a journalist be allowed in?" So, I'm independent, but I've done over 500 of these in state buildings, so, yeah.
Okay.
I know the laws, I know my rights, and I know what loitering is, and what disorderly conduct is, and, all the other statutes that they try to hem me up for on public property when you're not actually really committing a crime.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the lady was nice at first. I just walked in there and she was
You have some rights to film, sir. But right now, like I said, we've got children that come in and out of here.
Children are allowed
Some of them are what?
Children are allowed to be videotaped.
Not if they're victims. Some of these are victims of crimes.
How do we know?
We don't want to. That's the business. That's what this business is here for. So they can come and go.
It's
But
the
all
health
right.
department.
Well, hold on right there. Can you give this gentleman the information?
Only if I've been suspected of a crime.
So you're not willing to just
Now, you guys know the deal. You know the codes.
I know the codes. It's just
Yeah.
one of our procedures that we do, and I'm just asking you if
And
you're
someone
willing
that
to do
wants
so.
to protect his rights is definitely going to follow the law, which the law states unless you suspect me of a crime or committing a crime or about to commit a crime, I don't have to ID. So I don't want to be not cordial to you folks, but I also want to remain,
Remain with your stance.
Right, exactly. I'm out here for a reason, and the reason is that a lot of times people's rights are violated because they don't understand them.
Okay.
I'm out here because I do understand them, and I won't allow that to happen to me. So,
But as Officer Officer Jennings said, though, there are victims that come in here.
There probably is, but there's no way for me to tell, and there's nothing against the law saying I can't record, even if they are victims, unless they got a sign that says I'm a victim of a violent crime, please don't record me.
But you understand, like, why people are...
I mean, you could be a victim of a violent crime. I'm sure, you know, and as a cop, you guys are victims of lots of violent crimes. Battery on law enforcement officers is a violent crime.
True.
So, I mean, what's the...
Okay. I'm just trying to get you to understand the relationship of how they feel about it.
Right. Listen, I don't try to get kids on there. I'm not there for that. I'm here for, you know, usually the buildings, architecture-wise. I'm also here for the pamphlets and any kind of information that they offer to the public. I disseminate all my information to the public. It's a constitutionally protected activity. You know what I mean? So I've been doing this for about 2 years. So I know, you know, I can't count how many times I've had this conversation, you know?
Right.
So.
I got you. Okay, get his information.
Just
go ahead and give his information, because you have the right to ask for that.
Yeah,
But
you can
can't-
ask.
Okay, that's what he's going to do. And
No,
he's going
yeah,
Well, I
that's
asked.
fine.
Oh, that's what I said. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, can you go ahead and give his information? Right now, we're here just talking to you, and then we're going to be on our way.
Well,
Right.
I don't give out information because that.
But
that
you
would,
could turn around and film everybody else and try to get theirs? Is that
I'm
how
not,
you do it?
I'm not trying to get anybody's information.
Well, when you're filming them.
If I film somebody walking down the street,
Well,
is that
right
going to
now,
tell me their name, address, phone number, date of birth?
Okay, well, right now, he's also an officer that's asking you for suspicious activity,
It's
which
suspicious
we said that.
crime or misdemeanor, felony or misdemeanor.
What did I say to you? What did I say? I'm not telling you it's a crime. I'm just telling you it's a suspicious person. You're suspicious to them. That's it. We're here checking. All you do is give you information, and we're done.
Right. They're
And then we're going to
suspicious
be out of
to
here.
me.
Yeah, they don't know who you are.
Well, I'm saying they're
And they got,
suspicious
and like
to
I
me.
said, they got victims that come in and out, but
Right.
you're allowed to be right here.
I'm
do
allowed
this.
to go in the building
So-
as well. Anywhere the public's allowed to go, the journalist is allowed to go.
Okay. All right, well, I'm just going. You're allowed to be out here.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not here to cause problems. I'm not here. I'm not here for the regular citizens.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, citizens can't violate my rights.
Right.
These people can't coming in here can't violate my rights. I can't violate their rights. Only the government can violate the citizens' rights. So I'm not here to capture
Well, I mean,
any of
citizens
them.
can't violate each other's rights.
Well, they can not so much. It's not you don't have a right to not get beat up. You know,
Right.
you don't have that right. So when I mean right, I mean like another citizen can't stop another citizen from practicing the First Amendment. Now he could beat him forcefully, but that's a crime. That's not a violation of his civil right. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So if I'm out here recording and some guy off the street decides to come and beat me up, that's battery. That's not, you know, First Amendment civil right violation. I can't take him into federal court and sue him.
Right.
So no, we just walk around and make sure people are doing what they should be doing as far as public servants go.
I
you know,
understand. You know, we see we get briefed. You know, we see you guys
Yeah.
online and all that stuff too.
well, you know, and I tell people, we're not here for a specific person.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so when we come out and we're looking at everything, everybody should be, I don't want to say excited about that, but knowing that I might uncover something that could save your guys' pension years down the road. You know what I mean? I'll give you a perfect example. Fire chief in Alabama worked for the city for 30 years. Pension got cut off because the city mismanaged the budget. The guy ends up dying in his apartment because he can't afford heat. A guy that's worked and served his city 30 years as a fireman, because the city mismanaged the budget, he loses his pension, he ends up dying. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of thing I'm trying to expose. I'm not trying to expose any one certain person, unless, of course, as you know, you got something to hide.
Right.
Then you're nervous. You got a camera. Why would anybody be nervous in the camera? You know, what is this? Is this not Facebook, Twitter, millennia, where you put 50,000 pictures of yourself on the internet?
I mean, I don't.
Right, and well, right, but then all of a sudden the camera's like, oh, it's suspicious, it's confusing, I'm scared.
Right.
And meanwhile, 50 pictures on Instagram. So,
It's just like, but I mean, you understand the climate of why people get this way when somebody.
It really is a made-up climate. I mean, we have more chance of being struck by lightning bolts, all three of us, than by dying in a terror attack, all three of us. You know what I mean? But yet people still go out in the rain.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, when you look at it as a numbers thing, I mean, we're Americans.
Yeah,
We're freedom.
We're not scared. Information and everything like that. Yes, you're right. The probability is really low.
But and I get what you're saying. The majority of Americans go on emotion and belief. Most of it misbelief. But you're right. That's exactly right. And we're trying to get people accustomed to practicing the right.
Sean, can you tell her her trunk's open? How you doing?
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm one of the supervisors, administrator, actually, on the second floor.
Excellent.
What exactly are you doing?
I'm just videotaping, video recording.
Why are you video recording?
Well, because it's our right as press to go into public buildings. It's actually a 11th Circuit decision here out of Georgia, Smith v. City of Cumming. We're allowed to keep track of our public officials in the course of their public duties.
The public officials?
Public officials is anybody who gets paid public dollars to do public work.
And so like you're
he's
with
a public
an
official?
organization?
No, I'm an independent journalist.
You're an independent journalist from where?
I'm originally from my mother, but I mean, those kind of questions have no bearing on what I'm doing here or why it's legal or...
Yeah, we're just trying to get an understanding why you're here recording, period.
Well, because it's a public building and I have an absolute right to.
Okay.
6990.
Go for 6990.
Right. It's a crowd. I mean, the crowd is leaving now. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Obviously, you know, we understand that you have every right.
Of course.
And we only come because we're called.
Of course. No, absolutely. And you got to come. And you got to come and you got to ask questions. I understand that.
All we can do is explain to people that the right's there.
No, and trust me, like I said, this is probably my 494th public building. And I told them, I've had these conversations more times than I care to remember. And you know, when I first started doing it, there was a lot of friction, but as more and more people were acclimated and, you know, more memos went out and more information like that became available, you know, now, and I'll be honest, I'm not from Georgia, I'm from Florida. Most of my videos are in Florida, but now in Florida, I go in there, I go in a building like this, I stand in the corner, I'm real quiet. They call the police come in, don't even talk to me. Go right to them, tell them it's my right, walk right back out and leave.
Right.
I wave to them as they come in and as they go, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's a process. But, you know, we're only better off when we know our rights. When we're more knowledgeable about the law and our rights, we can only be better for us.
How long have you been doing this?
You good?
I've been doing this about 2 years.
You're good to stay out here if you want to film. But they do have notices that there's nothing once you go in that door. Because of patient security and everything, you can't film inside the building.
HIPAA. Yeah, I know.
Okay?
Yep.
We good?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I don't want to get in an argument. I just
No.
see
Like
there's a lot of this stuff we still try to figure out.
Yeah, no,
Make sure we're
absolutely.
doing
And
right.
I'm not confrontational. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to be uncordial. But you know, there's the law, and I love the law,
just,
and I want to follow the law.
Just be careful, because you know some people don't like it.
Right.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right, because I don't want you to get hurt. I don't
Well,
want
that's what I call you guys. That's what that's why
So,
I get you guys out
yeah,
there
if
for.
you enter that building, then you get trouble because they do have a sign right there that says no filming, no nothing.
Yeah.
While you're in there because of patient confidentiality and stuff
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
HIPAA. They're still learning. Like I said, this is my first time up in this
All right.
area, but we'll get them squared away.
Can we get your name though, so we can say you were fine and we had no problem with you?
Well, I don't give him George is my first name, but I don't give my full name.
All right, he's good with that.
Yeah, I don't give my full name, but yeah.
Okay, but George is your real name. You just did not like.
Yeah. No, George
Okay,
is my.
good.
Listen, I read through Title 16 all last night and the administrative, so I know about the false name thing here in Georgia.
Okay.
In Florida, it's different. Only if you're lawfully detained or arrested and you give a name that's
Right.
false.
Okay. Then you're
Because
good.
because I go by Captain Awesome down there. That's the name I give them. Captain Awesome. Yeah.
I put that down.
Awesome or awesome?
Yeah, awesome.
Awesome,
Captain.
okay.
You can find me online, Captain
We're good.
Awesome under YouTube.
You can stay out here, but you don't be allowed to go in. Down out to break the barrier.
So you have a good
All
one.
right.
You too, guys.
Take it easy,
All right,
George.
George.
Yep. Have a
Make
good
sure
one, guys.
we got it all right.
Yeah, no, you guys are fine. Thanks for coming out.
You got this?
Thank you for watching until the end of this video on Mr. White's channel in Valdosta, Georgia, a city of over 55,000 residents and known as the administrative and healthcare hub of South Georgia. What began as a calm morning quickly escalated into a tense legal confrontation. An independent citizen journalist from the Rogue Nation channel was simply exercising his right to record in a public space, the grounds of the Lowndes County Health Department, when he was repeatedly ordered by security personnel and police officers to stop filming and present ID, despite there being no reasonable suspicion of a crime. What made this situation particularly controversial was the widespread confusion between the concept of personal privacy and the legal right to film in publicly accessible spaces. Under US law, every citizen has the right to record in public areas, including government buildings, as long as they are not trespassing in restricted zones or intentionally violating privacy laws such as HIPAA. The lesson here is crystal clear. As a citizen, knowing your rights, especially the right to record and the right to refuse ID when not under lawful suspicion, is your strongest defense against improper authority. Knowledge is your shield, and the camera is a tool for transparency, not a threat. What would you do if you were in this situation? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Mr. White's channel to continue following real legal showdowns where justice is upheld not by volume or force, but by understanding the law and standing your ground.